Hello and welcome to GameSack. We're doing something a little different this time around. We're talking about demo discs. Actually, it is kind of interesting.
It is interesting, and no, we're not running out of ideas. We got plenty of ideas for shows. So
this is a legitimate idea. I don't want to hear it.
I don't either. But anyways, demo discs were a cool thing. Back when you pre-ordered a game, you'd get a demo of it, and you could take it home, try it out before you bought the stupid game. And if you didn't like it, I guess you just cancel your pre-order.
Yeah. Well, some demo discs you didn't have to pre-order to get them.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just start taking a look at some of these demo discs. By the way, in case you haven't noticed, we're weekly.
I own a few demo discs for the GameCube. This first one is for Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. I got this from Nintendo.com for registering the games that I purchased. This was before Club Nintendo, which started in the US in 2008. It didn't come in a case, but rather a small slipcover in a pamphlet. This part felt cheap to me. Anyways, this disc has some cool features. It has a trailer for the game, which is okay. It also has a preview of the game, which is another video like the trailer, but it's longer and shows different scenes. It has an art gallery, which is actually a slideshow of art for the game. This is nice, but I'd rather have been able to look at the artwork without the slideshow. Then, of course, there's an actual demo. This is great, and at the time it really got me excited to play the actual game. In my opinion, the best part about the demo disc is the Chronicle. This gives you the story of each game released up to this time along with a video clip and a music track from that game. All in all, this is a great demo disc. Another great demo disc is for Star Wars Rebel Strike. This was a pre-order bonus for the game. On this disc you get another slideshow of artwork. These slideshows seem to be popular, but damn, I want to take control. You also get a trailer for a game called Gladius. I've never played this one, and after seeing this trailer for it, I'm glad as it looks beyond boring. A Gladiator RPG? Sheesh, no thanks. Then you get a trailer for Rebel Strike. This is fine and all, but since you have an actual demo, why not play that instead of watching a trailer? Yes, I know it shows off different scenes and what's playable, but still. The demo is the Hoth Ice level. It starts out with footage from the movie, which I like. You play as Luke, and you get to do a few different things which shows the gameplay pretty well. Firstly, you get to destroy AT-AT walkers on foot. You then get to ride a Tauntaun to a big gun. You take control of this big gun and take out some chicken walkers. Good stuff! After that, you hop into an X-Wing and fight it out with about 5,000 TIE fighters. I didn't last long here, but it was still fun. But the real draw for me on this disc is the full Atari Star Wars arcade game that was released in 1983. I was only 11 years old. The GameCube emulates it well, and the vector graphics look as good as ever. I always like the graphics and the few bits of voice acting thrown in here and there. The only problem here is using the GameCube controller. The analog stick is really touchy, making it hard to shoot at stuff.
Increase the power.
Other than that, this again is a very nice demo disc to have. And finally, this demo disc came with Mario Kart Double Dash. It's loaded with demos and movies, and this is only the second time that I've ever popped this into my GameCube. As far as demos go, there's some good ones on here like F-Zero GX. One race on Mute City with Captain Falcon. That's all you get. This is an amazing entry into the series, although I feel that the game as a whole is a bit on the hard side. There's a Mario Party 5 demo. This one is interesting because there's no game board and no rolling dice. You just pick one of the available minigames and have fun. There's a demo of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Leonardo is the only playable character, but you get a good feel for how dreadfully average this game is. Then there's some bad demos like Sonic Heroes. I didn't like this game mainly because I don't like switching between the three characters. It slows everything down and gets annoying fairly quickly. Then there's movies of a lot of upcoming games including Kirby's Air Ride. This actually promotes the TV show first and then shows some gameplay. And finally, this disc has a bonus item if you've played Fire Emblem on your Game Boy Advance. Just hook your handheld up via the adapter cable and download exclusive content for the game. This is a decent demo with a lot of filler. Hell, I guess it's better than nothing.
Talk to the... Stay down!
You're all familiar with the kick-ass pack-in disc that came with the Turbo Duo, right? It had Gate of Thunder, which is an amazing game. It also had Bonk's Adventure, Bonk's Revenge, and Bomberman if you knew the code. Well, this demo played in kiosks and stores and it had the same 3 games, but no Bomberman. What's really interesting is that they created an entirely new opening animation with Air Zonk instead of Bonk.
Heads up, people! Hi, I'm Zonk. I'm here to let you know about the ultimate gaming experience. The Turbo Duo. But please don't take my word for it. Step right up and play these 3 super sensational games.
That's pretty cool. Each of the games on here are demo versions. Gate of Thunder abruptly takes you back to the selection screen after you beat Stage 1. Bonk's Adventure actually lets you play for a while as its first world is moderately large. Then it's back to the selection screen. Bonk's Revenge also lets you go through the entire first world, but curiously it shows off part of the ending once you finish it. It's a pretty interesting disc for the Turbo. I also have this Dragon's Lair demo disc for the Sega CD. This was given to me by an employee at Electronics Boutique since I was pretty much a regular there. It has a looping demo of the opening animation. It also lets you play the tile room scene. If you lose all your lives, it simply resets to the opening demo animation. And if you actually beat the scene, it also unceremoniously resets to the looping attraction screen. The disc itself also tells you what moves you need to input to beat the scene. This is a cool disc. The same employee also gave me a Thunderstrike demo disc, which I wish I could find and show it to you, but it was cool. It sold me on the game. When the Saturn was launched, it came with a couple of demo discs. The first was Sega Saturn Choice Cuts. And what better way to get pumped for upcoming software than have a bald dude yelling at you?
It's how you play the game.
And if that's not enough, you have this little twerp dancing around. I mean, damn, this almost made me regret buying the Saturn.
Wow.
There's video clips of several games. I like how Myst here uses music from Batman Returns on the Sega CD. And why is Virtua Fighter on here? The entire game comes packed in with the same system. There's no need to advertise it here, but they do. The Saturn also came with a playable preview of Panzer Dragoon. It tells you to play the disc on your Saturn for a chance to play level 1 of Panzer Dragoon. That's right, a chance. So I guess they didn't know if this disc was going to run or not, I don't know. But I bought the full game when I bought the system anyway, so it really had no effect on me.
Sega Saturn.
Now for the PlayStation. I've got a handful of demo discs that I was able to get a hold of back in the day, and here's 3 of them. The first one is Spyro the Dragon. I got this for being a subscriber to the PlayStation Underground. Naturally, I was excited to play this game as it was a new IP from Insomniac. The demo disc came in a trifold case with a cool foil cover with Spyro looking badass. Once you boot the disc, you're treated to a bunch of praise for Spyro from different magazines of the time. Apparently they thought this would make people like the game a lot more. Luckily, I base my opinions on gameplay and not a bunch of crap like this. The demo is short, but you get a good feel for how the game plays and how Spyro controls. I always liked the controls, and using Spyro to fly at certain points was really fun. Just like the real game, you collect a bunch of jewels and release dragons from their statues. These dragons thank you and give you hints. All in all, it's not a bad demo, and at the time it did get me hyped to play the actual game. The next demo disc is for Lunar's Silver Star Story Complete. The demo disc came with a pre-order for the game. There's nothing special about this disc in appearance. It comes in a normal slipcover, which surprises me since Working Designs usually went overboard with their releases. Anyway, you get a really nice chunk of gameplay here, about 3 hours in all, which is perfect to get you excited about the eventual release. As you're playing the demo, you can save your progress, which could be transferred to the actual game when it was released so you didn't have to play the first 3 hours over again. I don't like a lot of RPGs, but Lunar is one of the few that I do like. There's just something about the storytelling in this one that really keeps me interested. I really like the battle system also, as you can actually avoid battles. Sure, you must grind to gain levels, but at least you can choose when you want to do your grinding. Another useless demo disc that I'm happy to have in my collection. Last but not least is a Squaresoft on PlayStation Collector CD. Sadly, I don't remember where I got this disc, but I'm pretty sure it was from a pre-order. Anyway, I was pretty stoked to get this disc because judging from the cover, it looks like you'll be able to play a lot of great demos like Final Fantasy Tactics, Final Fantasy VII, and Saga Frontier. Sorry, but those are just trailers for your viewing pleasure. It's cool to watch these because they do a good job of making you want to play the game, but you know, an actual demo of the game would really make me want to play it. All's not lost because you do get to play 2 demos here. The first one is for Einhander. This is a shooter that I like. I'm not good at it, but it is fun. Being able to take your enemy's weapons is always fun. I've always liked the atmosphere in this game and I really like the music. The second demo is for Bushido Blade. After playing it, I wasn't really impressed. Sure, it feels pretty realistic and for the time it probably looked good. The demo sucks though, as there's no music, just a bunch of birds chirping in the background. Secondly, there's no end to this demo. You just keep battling it out until you get sick of fighting. This didn't take but 5 minutes before I quit. This isn't a bad disc, but it could have been better. They should have given us a playable demo of one of the Final Fantasy games and made Bushido Blade the trailer.
Back when the 3DO came out, we used to get a lot of demo discs for it. This is the 3DO Interactive Sampler number 2. These were pretty cool. This one has 10 selections on it, many of which are playable demos. Some, like the spectacular Jam It here, only shows you wimpy video demos. One of the games on here is Soccer Kid. This is also known as The Adventures of Kid Cleats on the Super Nintendo, and I think it's called Marco and His Magic Football or something like that on the Mega Drive in Europe, I don't know. Anyway, you strut around with your little ball and you use it to attack people for no reason whatsoever while you collect items. And because the developers hate you, they map jumping to the A button, which completely ruins this game for me. I do like the scrolling and the graphics are fair with nice color though, but honestly the demo just made absolutely sure that I would never buy this game in a million years. Also on here is Gritters. After you get your last paycheck, you wander down into the basement. Your goal is to pick up random things and then make it to the exit after you've picked them all up, all while avoiding the rolling cubes. At least that's how I understand it. For some reason, you also get a dog. I really like the music here, but really that's about it. You can also play a single stage of Naughty Dog's Way of the Warrior if you like fighting games with horrible control. You can also play the much worse Shadow, War of Succession. Oh man, is this one bad. Honestly, they should not have had a demo of this game because I guarantee you that anyone who played it did not buy the game. Or you can take a few non-interactive lessons from golfer Tom Kite to try and improve your game.
And open up your stance a little bit more.
This is what the 3DO was all about. The 3DO Interactive Sampler number 4 added some more games like Balls, the Director's Cut. Now who wouldn't want to play a game like this? Look at it. Or Battle Sport. This is a game where you battle while you play sports in your robo-vehicle. Man, these demo discs sure saved me a hell of a lot of money. But honestly, my favorite one is the 3DO Interactive Sampler number 1. Yep, the very first one. It had a great selection of playable demos. My favorite was a game called Orion Off-Road by Crystal Dynamics. You couldn't do much in this demo but drive and shoot at the scenery, but at the time I had a blast with the cool graphics and the music. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was amazing. This game would go on to be called Off-World Interceptor. This disc also has demos of Sewer Shark if you wanted a better looking version of that game for some reason. It also had the same demo of Dragon's Lair that I showed you on the Sega CD earlier. Hands up if you remember me talking about that.
Daring adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dog.
Of course, this version looks much better. This was a fun disc.
Maybe you're good enough, dog meat. Let's find out.
Okay, well there's some demo discs. Some discs have just one game on them. Some have many games on them. Which one do you like, Joe?
I like the Dragon's Lair disc. No, I don't know. It's hard to decide.
I don't know.
Actually, I like the demo discs we have coming up, especially the ones that I'm doing from the Dreamcast.
Ooh.
The official Dreamcast magazine always used to come with a demo disc, so let's take a look at a few. Each disc came with multiple demos, some more than others, and also an updated version of the web browser. This one from September 2000 has a game called Arrow Wings 2 Airstrike where you can fly around in a plane of your choosing. This kind of reminds me of Ace Combat or Air Combat or whatever it's called, but less exciting. I don't even know what MagForce is. Hey, let's you and me find out together, shall we? Well, it seems to be a rather mediocre racing game from the future. Honestly, it's no wonder that this one really didn't grab anyone's attention. Moving on to the February 2001 disc, we have a bunch more demos. This one has Sega's 18-wheeler American Pro Trucker. I didn't like this game back then, but I really do now. The demo lets you drive from New York to Key West in Florida. Fortunately, you've got upwards of 80 seconds to make the entire trip. Plenty of time. This one's a lot of fun and I still need to get my hands on the full version. I really should so I can talk about it in a future episode. Also on here is a game I've never heard of called Max Steel. Seems to be a 3D beat 'em up with some stealth and covert overtones. It's not that bad actually, not that great either, but still. Jumping back to the November 1999 disc, we have a demo of Virtua Fighter 3 TB. This game looks great, but for some reason I always had issues controlling this one compared to the other Virtua Fighter games. I'm not really sure why.
You better run home to mama now.
A demo of Dynamite Cop is also on here. This is a sequel to Die Hard Arcade, which was on the
Sega Saturn.
It's a great beat 'em up and it's also crazy as hell. Like, look how I'm shooting these guys multiple times with these big ass missiles, yet they're still standing. Gotta love Sega. And lastly, let's take a look at the December 2000 disc. Another game I've never heard of before right now, Super Runabout San Francisco Edition. This one surprised me, it's actually pretty cool. In this mission, you're driving all around town to pick up all the bombs that are just randomly laying about and then return them to police headquarters before time runs out. Lots of wanton destruction in this one. Now, it's not super polished or anything, but I'm definitely gonna pick this one up if the price is right. And who wouldn't want to play a trial edition of Skies of Arcadia? This one lets you sample different parts of the game, mostly the battle system. This is a pretty good demo because it gives you a chance to see how the magic and the S moves work right away. Plus you get to experience the cool graphics and music. I really should do a full review of this one sometime. All in all, these Dreamcast demo discs were awesome.
Here's 3 demo discs for the PlayStation 2. The first one is for Skygunner, which is a 3D airplane combat game. The graphics are very colorful, which I really like, and everything has a steampunk look to it. The one thing that I don't like is that your character and his friends have no pupils in their eyes. This gives them a very creepy feeling. The demo is loaded with story, and it seems like you fight a little bit and then listen to a lot of dialogue and then fight a little bit more. I'm not a fan of this constant break in action. Just give me the basics of the story and let me go. At first, I didn't like this demo at all. I chose the advanced control sync and I was going to be able to handle the plane with no problem. I was wrong and I couldn't do the simplest maneuvers. The advanced controls are horrible, so I started again and chose the simple controls. This made the demo a lot more fun. It's still not an amazing game by any means, but I think if I could get it for cheap, I'd pick it up. Next is a demo for Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. This is a good disc as it has some really nice features. It has the usual trailer of the game with some really unenthusiastic announcer.
Master the Sands of Time.
The demo itself is great. It puts you in different situations that you'll be experiencing in the final game. I was really impressed at how this series went from 2D to 3D. Everything worked well, and the new features like running along walls is super fun. You even get to mess around with rewinding time with the Sands of Time. The ability to rewind time was a really cool feature of this game. Fall off a ledge or miss a jump? No worries, just rewind time until you're back on solid ground and then go from there. So cool. Probably the best part about this disc is that it includes a full version of the original Prince of Persia game. I suck at the original game, but I really do like playing it, and this little bonus makes the demo disc worth owning right here. The final demo disc is from Konami. It includes 6 playable demos and a bunch of trailers. I was really excited to get this disc in my PS2, but ultimately I was let down. The playable demos for the most part are of garbage games. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Battle Nexus sucks hard. The control is kinda stiff and there's a slight pause between weapon swings. It feels very unpolished to me, and this demo made me not want to buy this game. The Silent Hill 4 demo would have been interesting if I could figure out what the hell was going on. I walked around the apartment trying to investigate everything possible but got no response at all. I thought my controller was broken at one point, and after about 10 minutes of very little interaction, I gave up. Then there's the Neo Contra demo. Oh man, is this game bad. Contra is supposed to be a fast-paced run-and-gun game. This is not a run-and-gun game. Controlling your weapon isn't easy, as you'll keep wanting to lock it into one position. You spend more time thinking about how to control your gun than you do about playing the game. It's really bad. The best demo on here is a game that Konami didn't develop, and that's Ys Ark of Napishtim. This is a fun demo of a great game. You get a feel for combat in the field, and you can even fight a few bosses all while listening to an amazing soundtrack. The disc also has a bunch of trailers. Most of the games look really boring. One trailer in particular for Rumble Roses is ridiculous. The video is 3 minutes long and there's seriously about 45 seconds of actual gameplay showing. The rest just shows off large-breasted CG girls dancing around and wrestling. Now wait a minute, don't get me wrong because I don't mind gratuitous amounts of big-breasted girls, but if you want me to buy your game, then you might want to show me some actual gameplay. Sorry Konami, your disc did nothing to get me excited about any of your games.
Let's check out the PlayStation Underground Jam Pack, which you could buy for $4.99, or $7.99 in Canada because screw those guys. This was something that you could either buy or subscribe to, and it had lots of different things on it. Inside the vault are the demos that you can play. On this disc there are quite a few different games, like A Bug's Life, which is a free-roaming 3D game that I didn't really get into for the short amount of time that I played it. It looks like it might hold some promise, but I don't know. There's even a demo of Metal Gear Solid which lets you play the opening scene of the game. Then there's a game I never heard of before called Rallycross 2. And there's a reason I've never heard of it, because this has some of the twitchiest controls of any racing game that I've ever played. It doesn't look too bad for a PS1 game though. Another one I hadn't heard of is Small Soldiers. Apparently this is based on a movie that I never bothered to see, and I probably never will. This is a 3D platformer slash run and gun, I guess. The enemies take a ton of shots to kill, and that reduces any enjoyment I might otherwise have in this demo. The environments don't look bad, and the music is almost interesting. This disc even has an import section with one game called Ire Rabo. Interestingly, it says that these games aren't designed to be run on a North American system and that the entire console will need to be reset after playing this. Not sure why, but okay. This is one of those games where you guide the object between the rails. Don't touch the rail or... This doesn't seem like a game that would be highly sought after, so I wouldn't be surprised if shipping costs more than the game does now. So those are the demos, but this disc offers other things like debriefing. This is an interview with Spyro developers about how they made the game.
But where the primary focus of the game would be interaction with the enemies. To the best of my knowledge, that had never been done before.
Then there's behind the scenes. This gives you an exclusive look at the upcoming Crash Bandicoot Warped being made. You saw it here first, folks. Download Station is interesting. Here you download save files to your memory card. Unlock everything in Tekken 3, Gran Turismo, and Vigilante 8 with the greatest of ease. The Underground crew has played the game so that you don't have to. If that's not enough, try the Code Archive. This has tons of codes for tons of PlayStation games. Who the hell needs GameFAQs when you have your handy-dandy PlayStation Underground Jam Pack CD? Overall, this is a pretty damn good demo disc, and I like all the other stuff that they put on here. Would you pay $5 for this disc? And there's a handful of demo discs for you. Of course, there are so many more demo discs out there.
Yeah, there's a ton of them, and the feature that I like about some of these is that they actually include more than just a demo of a game. Like, say, the Prince of Persia one had the actual original Prince of Persia game. The Star Wars one for the GameCube had the actual Star Wars arcade on it. Some cool things like that that actually make it worth keeping.
And the PlayStation Underground disc had like lots of other random stuff like cheat codes and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of demo discs are just demos.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
What do you guys have any demo discs that we didn't talk about that just totally kick ass that you want to
send us?
Yeah, because we have no way of getting them. Anyway, let us know what you think of demo discs, and in the meantime, thank you for watching GameSat.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Dave.
It's amazing you're looking at those, because I've got a deal for you.
What is it, pray tell?
This is Lunar Silver Star Story Complete for the PlayStation 1.
Complete?
And it's better than these versions, and you don't need those anymore. It's complete. See you later.
Hey!
Sega Saturn.